Alright, so now we're moving on to 10.6, surface area. There are several new vocabulary that we have not used. Obviously you know about area, etc., but what is a lateral face, what is a lateral edge, etc. All the definitions are here and here, so you can see what you can have a look at, see what each one of them means. But what's the difference between the lateral area and the surface area? Well, think of a can with a label on it that you get from the grocery store. The label itself is the surface area, is the lateral area, and that's got its own formula down here, which is the perimeter times the perpendicular height again. And then obviously the surface area, let's go back to the can again, is the label and the two bases. And as you can see here, you've got a second formula. So the first formula, the lateral area, is perimeter times the height. The surface area is obviously the lateral area plus the area of the two bases. That's example 2. Alright, so let's have a look at example 1. First and foremost, check in the diagram what you want. Well, first of all, you want the surface area and your answer to the nearest tenth. Okay, so looking at what you've got, the base is actually your 2D shape that you know. So in this case, you've got a triangle, a right-angled triangle, but don't forget you still need to find what the hypotenuse is. So you're using Pythagoras, and then that will tell you that if you do 5 squared plus 6 squared and square root your answer, you get 7.8. Now you can actually do it. Okay, so the perimeter is the 5 plus the 6 plus the 7.8, and obviously it's the perpendicular height. Well, in this case that's the 7, so that will give you the lateral area of the shape. Now you want the area of the two triangles. So here you've got the two triangles, and don't forget the area of a triangle is a half base times perpendicular height. So a half times 5 times 6. Plug it into your calculator and you get 161.6 square centimetres, and it goes to what the question is asking you, it's the nearest tenth. Alright, we're moving on to example 3. You'll see in the book that you've got example 1, 3, 5 and 7 together, and then 2, 4 and 6 together. So let's have a look at example 3. Now we've got a cylinder. So the last one was like a Toblerone, a triangular prism. Now we've got a cylinder, and again the lateral area is the circumference times the perpendicular height, or the circumference is 2 pi r times the height. Okay, and then don't forget you've got two of the bases, which is 2 pi r squared. So pi r squared is the area of a circle. You need two of them, so 2 pi r. And again, you've got the formulas. It will be on your reference sheet if and when you ever do this, take an exam. But there's the formula, quote the formula, substitute in the information that you've been given and solve according to what it wants, which we know it's one decimal place, so it's 1201.7 square millimetres. Alright, so now we're going on to regular pyramids. So don't forget we're looking at regular shapes. So we need to find the area of regular shapes. So we're going back to 10.4 now. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is find the area of the base. Well, don't forget it's a half AP, or the perimeter times the area, the apothegm. Okay, and eventually you will solve the bottom, the base of it. You get 64. And now you've got to find the area of the surface area. Well, basically it's the same, a half PL again, but this time don't forget you've only got one base. Okay, so substitute everything back in again, and don't forget it's the perpendicular height of each face. Okay, so 30 times 8 times a half plus the 64.5 from the base, and you finish up with 184.5. Alright, so now we're going to find the surface area of the cone, and again it's only got one base, but now things change a little bit. Okay, with the cone you need L, which is the slant height this time. Okay, so straight away you know the fact that it's going to be 15. You don't have to have the perpendicular height of it, it's a slope, so therefore it's the slant height. So the formula is basically the same, but a slight change. So you need the slant height this time. Okay, and there's no 2 in front of it. It's not 2 pi r, it's just times the radius times pi times the slant height. Okay, and then you've only got one base, but it's a circle, so it's pi r squared, so that doesn't change. So again, you've got formulae. So again, it's just a case of writing the formula down, substituting in your information, put it in your calculator, and you get the correct answer. Okay, so as you can see, you've got examples 1, 3, 5 and 7 here, as I said earlier on. We're going to have a look at 2 of them, but again, make sure you refer back to the formula that you need. Okay, so refer back to example 1, 3, 5 or 7, pick up the right formula that you need, and then you can good to go. So question number 1 is a square-based pyramid, and the formula for that is 1/2. And it's the perimeter times, that's the surface area, remember, plus the area of the base. All right, substitute in what you've got, and you can put all this into your calculator. It should all go in one go, provided you use parentheses in the right place. So you've got 1/2, substitute it in. The perimeter is 4 times 16, which is going to be 64. Okay, the slant height is going to be 12. And you're going to find the area of the base, so you're going to add that and you're going to do 16 squared. Okay, well at this point everything can go into your calculator, but if you want to separate it out, 64 times 12 times 1/2 will give you 384. And you're going to add on to that, which is 16 squared, which is 256. And if you add them both together, you will get 640. And it's units squared, so this case is 640 centimeters squared. Okay, so now let's have a look at number 6. So there was number 1 for you. Let's have a look at number 6. Similar thing again. Quote the formula. Okay, so this time you've got a cylinder, and the formula on the formula sheet was 2 pi RH. Okay, so that was the lateral area plus the area of the circle, and don't forget this time you've got 2 circles, so it's 2 pi r squared. And again, substitute in what you've got. So 2 times, leave pi as it is. The radius is half the 20.4, so that's going to be 10.2. Put that in parentheses. Okay, and then the height is going to be your 22. And if you put that bit into your calculator separate and round it up, you get 1410. And then you've got the area of the 2 circles. Well, again, you've got 2 times pi r squared, radius squared, and you've got 2 times pi times, and don't forget this, the radius is 10.2 squared. And if you put that into your calculator, you get 53.6. Some calculators might be 653.7, but mine is 60.6, and if you add those two guys together you get 2063.6, and again it's whatever the units are. In this case, again, it's centimeters squared. So pick the right formula, substitute in your information. If you're using your calculator, make sure you use the parentheses, put it in your calculator, it'll do it for you. Okay. Alright, so like I said, the examples are going in order. So now we've got example 2, 4 and 6. So let's have a look at example 2. We want the surface area of a prism. Okay, and it's again, the surface area is the perimeter times the height plus whatever the 2 bases are. Substitute in your information, put it in your calculator, and you will get 368. And again, don't forget to put your units on at the end. Alright, so let's have a look at what you've got. Now we want to find the surface area of the cylinder. Well, the first thing you need to do is find the radius, but what does it tell you? I mean, when you think about it, if you take a label off a can, you will actually get a rectangle. So there's your dimensions of your rectangles, but what you've got to do is make sure you work out what the circumference is. So you've got to work backwards in order to find it out. Okay. And the length of it will actually be your circumference. So remember, you're going to roll it around. So the 12.6 is going to be your circumference. Okay, so you have to work inversely in order to find out what your radius is. Keep working the problem through. So now you know that the radius is 2, because now you can put that into what you need. So you want the lateral area plus the base. Well, the lateral area is just the 5 times 12.6, but now you want 2 ends, which is your 2 pi r squared, and the radius is 2.0 as they're using it here, not just 2. Put it into your calculator again, so you've got 88.1 inches squared. So this is a problem where you have to find a radius from what you've been given. Okay, so this is example 6, surface area of a pyramid. It tells you that it's a square pyramid at the bottom, so you still need to find the sides. So it's a half the perimeter times the lateral height, plus whatever the area of the base is. Well, it tells you that the base edge is 12, so the area is 144. And the perimeter is 4 times 12, which will give you the 48. The 10 is the height that it gives you straight away. Again, calculator job, plug it in and you get the correct answer. And again with example 8, we're finding the lateral area, but the first thing you need to do is they've told you it's a tower. Similar, well, I've missed the picture out, but you've got a bit like a minaret with a cylinder at the bottom and a cone, a round cone at the top. But you've got to find the lateral height this time. Just like we did last time, you've got to use Pythagoras in order to find the missing information that you want. Now you can plug it in, so pi times the radius times the lateral height, and you get 754. Find the area of the cylinder base. Well, don't forget it's 2 pi r h, and that will give you 754, and then just add them together. So again, you've got 1508 square feet. All right, so let's have a look at these even examples. Well, questions 7, 8 and 9 are basically the same as what you've done before. So let's have a look at question number 10, where it's got it down into 3 different things. So part 10A needs to find the lateral area of the cylinder. So again, start quoting formulas and it will make it so much easier for you. Okay, so that's just 2 pi r h. Okay, that's the formula, so leave the pi as it is. Okay, well, it tells you from the diagram the 14 is the red bar all the way across, so the radius is part way, so that's going to give you 7. All right, and then the height is the 11 feet that they've got here. And then again, put it into your calculator, it will do it for you, and you finish up with 483.8. Okay, now the B part of it is the lateral area of the cone. And again, you've got the same thing. So, you know, this time it's pi RL. There's no extra working out that you've got to find. It's all being given to you. So pi stays as it is. The radius is your 7 again. And your L, don't forget, your slant height is your 9. So 63 times pi in your calculator will give you 197.9. And again, that's both of these are feet squared. Sorry, my apologies. And then the C part of it is to add A and B. So A plus B will give you, if you total them into your calculator, is 681.7 feet squared. All right, so break it down as much as you can.